Good morning, afternoon, or evening, my friends, whenever you're watching this video. And I want to give a special shout out to all the homeschooling parents who are started that this week. I know it's very early. We started very early. We actually had a choice to do that, so we decided to get going early in the year. So we have plenty of time. So we have time for days where we're just headed up to here. But so far, so good. So if you are a homeschooling parent, I'm just drinking an extra cup of coffee for you this morning, and I hope things are going well. If you're getting ready for it in the coming weeks, then keep trying to enjoy some of your time. But I think we learned a lot from this past spring that it'll be easier this time. So let me go ahead and jump into the video, though, because this week we did talk about what food can and cannot do for you. So, of course, eating consistently and regularly is always your first foundational tool. So literally, I have taught my clients that instead of food being the enemy, food is your foundation. Meaning when all hell breaks loose and you're having a bad day, it's the thing that can be there for you versus the thing that you feel like is the enemy, that you get stressed and you don't want to eat, or you get stressed and you get in your head about doing the right or wrong thing. It's like food is your foundation that can keep some stability in your life. So we talked about that on Monday. On Wednesday, we talked about what exercise or movement can and cannot do for us. And again, movement is something really wonderful that can help you clear your mind, can possibly even help you with your hunger fullness cues, can make your heart and your lungs stronger if you're so inclined. However, it's a terrible weight maintenance tool. All it does is make you need more fuel, and if you overdo it, it breaks down your body and it just numbs you out. Not a great idea. So today, I want to talk about the third thing that I often see people misuse, which is information. And we're going to talk about how to use the information you get about recovery, honestly, responsibly, in a way that you don't get disillusioned. So the number one thing I see online is that people are consuming more information about how to do intuitive eating, how to do recovery, how to be body positive. And I would never, I'm a reader, I have been since I was a little girl, so I never discourage people from reading and listening to things and learning. You have to like grow new neural pathways to basically crowd out all the diet fat-phobic garbage that we've all been exposed to our whole lives. You know, you have to have evidence-based information and anecdotal stories of how people have recovered. I mean, that's why I share mine. That's why I share these videos and these stories of what has worked for people. But what I do see people, the majority, because I'm only one person, I can only talk to so many people in a week. And so I know there are thousands, if not millions, of other people on this planet who maybe aren't talking to somebody personally, either one-on-one or in a group. And what I know is that people come in with a lot of head knowledge, will know a lot of stuff, but there's a gap between connecting with it and applying it and what we're learning. And so what I want to share today, I hope everybody can hear me. Somebody says echo, so I apologize if that's what's happening. Please, anybody else, let me know what might happen. Let me try something real quick. Maybe this is better. I'm not sure. But what I do want to say today is that I want to challenge. This is kind of a challenge video. I want to challenge any of you all who there is something you've read. Maybe even something of mine. Like, I talk a lot about grounding yourself every single day before every meal. Okay, great. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that. Every single day. Your feet, your seat, your back. Before you even sit down to eat, you find your feet on the floor and your seat in the chair and your back being supported. And I say these things ad nauseum. And I always get curious at the percentage of people who actually do it. And if you're one of those people, there's no shamingness. You know, we all have our different speeds at which we're willing to take risks to try new things. and our degree of readiness. But I will tell you that once you start doing these things, you will feel some discomfort. And that's often why we struggle with application of all the knowledge that's out there and all the wisdom that's being supplied by people all the time, constantly for free. I mean, there's so much information out there. You would think that we wouldn't need treatment centers or people like me to talk, about these things. But the issue is that we don't really make changes by knowing stuff. We make changes by feeling safe enough to take action. And that's why I do these videos, so you can feel connected to actually a real person that says, hey, try this thing, and this is what's going to happen. And if you have to take a break from it, then that's where your capacity lies, and we have to work on your capacity. So I want to address this because Destiny is saying exactly what the issue is. So Destiny is saying, whenever I try to ground myself with that technique, I start feeling triggered because my mind goes to how much weight I've gained. Okay, that means that you are being more in the moment. You're being less dissociative. And the only way to learn how to be with whatever weight inside you are is to learn to be with that sensation. That's it. That's the only way that people move forward, is to learn how to grow their capacity for that sensation. So the way you do that is, okay, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I wouldn't use the word trigger too much, because I think sometimes it gets people in this oh, I can't get triggered. I have to avoid this thing to not get triggered. That's not what we're here for, to be ever anti-uncomfortable. It's really, oh, this is feeling really big and uncomfortable. What resources can I reach for? Where can I swing over here to take a little orientating break and then come back to not being dissociated from my body, from myself? Once you start to stop using that neural pathway of feeling like the way your body is something that's not seeable or knowable or tolerable, once we stop using that neural pathway, that belief system, you're going to start feeling more toleration and comfort and peacefulness with wherever you're at. And I'm not saying that whatever body size you're at is your natural weight. I don't know that. All I know is that hating and dissociating from ourselves never changed a thing, never improved, never moved us along the path of recovery. It just doesn't. So we do have to get to a place where it's this is where I'm at right now, and here's the capacity I have not to abandon myself. So that's why people oftentimes don't use the information, because once they start to think about the information, you start to get uncomfortable, and then we check out. And the growth curve is going beyond information to practically being with ourselves with that stuff. And then you see where your capacity lies, and it's time to start growing your capacity. And how you do that is by, if you're struggling with a certain food, well, your job is to find a way to eat that certain food if you need to in safe company, which, again, I highly value. I do this a ton in my work, is I eat with clients a lot. And we grow our capacity to be with that food without dissociating through just getting through it. I am not interested in people, oh, I did a challenge food, and the whole time they're dissociated from it. It's no, we take our time to stay with the food we're eating in the amount that they can eat without being dissociative. That's what creates change. So anyway, I hope this video was really helpful. It's just a little tiny snippet of what I'm talking about here. I'm so glad Destiny had the courage to share her example. Destiny, I hope this was helpful to you. And that's the work. So if you haven't already, please go to my website, tracybrownrd.com/free-gifts. And there's exercises you can do to practice these things. So again, I make everything to be action and practice oriented, and not just here's a PDF, you read it, and then you never look at it again. The work that I put out there is about learning how to take safe risk so you can make progress. So thank you all so much for watching. We are going to dive deeper into this topic next week. I'm really, really, really interested in noticing how much people, because of our lack of ability to move around, to connect one-on-one with people, I am very deeply concerned about how much I'm noticing people kind of retreat on some level. And I'm really wanting people to have some tools to grow those new neural pathways of everything that you've learned. It's time to start to put those in action so you can have a solid foundation for your eating to be more normative. So thank you so much for watching. If this video was nourishing and helpful to you, please share with people that you know, because again, I don't think this information is out there very much about the act of embodying all the education and wisdom that there's out there. So, all right, thank you so much, and I will talk to you on the next video. Bye for now.